And we are back with some more Road to Glory with your wilkes-barre Scranton Penguins, currently in the middle of year number 1 with these guys, year number 11 of this series. And in the last one, we went on quite a bit of a losing streak. Well, not exactly a streak, because we did have a couple of wins sprinkled in there. But for the most part, we have had a rough month of December so far. Only 2 wins in, what is that, roughly 9 games played, I'm going to guess. Yeah, that's 9 games played so far this month. And only 2 wins. So what I want to do is I think I want to reassign Mike Ricci as our head coach, because currently I have the lineups set so that the assistant is taking care of them. And currently the head assistant coach, I guess you could say, is Brooks Simmons. And when you compare him to Mike Ricci, Ricci is much better at the majority of almost everything, really, besides maybe tactics, which I believe Simmons has like a 16, yeah. But that's the only thing. And I mean, I know tactics are obviously important. Chrysler Dahlquist proved that. But I think Ricci is just overall much more suited to be the head coach. So we are going to reassign him as our head coach, and hopefully that'll get things back on track here to where they need to be. Because the majority of our players honestly aren't playing that bad. At least as far as their overall grade goes. Like, no one's less than a 60 right now. So I'm hoping that getting Ricci in there as the head coach will change things up, particularly for our I remember our special teams weren't doing too hot. Then again, I suppose neither is our 5-on-5 goal scoring. We're currently at a 2.84 goals for per game. That's 19th in the league. And then the goals against per game, I mean, that stayed consistent. That's the one thing that stayed consistent this entire year so far is our goals against per game. I believe that's hovered around 2.86, 2.87 the entire year. So no issues with that, but the penalty kill is not ideal, and neither is the power play. 17.9 on the power play, and on the penalty kill, we are down there in 31st with a 77.2. So both of those things could definitely be better. So I'm hoping that a coaching change is sort of what we needed to get things going here. So I think we'll go at least to February 1st. Yeah, December was rough. We are now 19-20. And 3. Goalies have been good, so I have no reason to blame goaltending at the very least. Offense could definitely be better. Yeah, I think we're kind of struggling with the scoring, because we've played, 42 games so far? Our leading point scorer has 32. Yeah, I think we need a goal scorer in there somewhere. I mean, we're only roughly 2 weeks into our new head coach, I should say. But I really think we need a goal scorer. We've had a rough go. 3-0 loss here against Ontario, 6-2 loss against Hershey, 5-4 loss against Toronto. We had a 5-2 win against Stockton, but then a 5-3 loss against Lehigh Valley. I mean, of course, there are some losses that you could blame on our defense and goaltending, like 6-2, 5-3. But honestly, there are just as many games that could be pinned on our offense, like 2-1 loss, 2-1 loss, 2-1 loss, 4-1 loss. Those kinds of games are not acceptable. So I think what we'll do, since we're still in the transition period of having a new coach sort of deal, I'll go 2 more weeks just to see how things play out, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to need a goal scorer here, because it just doesn't seem like we're really getting enough from our current roster, because we're 42 games in and our leading goal scorer only has 16. Yeah, that's Zach Benson, nonetheless, who could be called up to the NHL at any moment, given how his ratings are. I mean, I'm not sure why he's not in the NHL right now, to be honest with you. So we definitely need to get a goal scorer. But before that, let's just simulate a couple of weeks and see how things go. Yeah, okay, I've seen enough. This team, I'm stopping it early. We're not going 2 weeks. This team is just not scoring enough. As we see, we're only on January 6th. I've only gotten like a week, not even. We did have a 4-2 win there against Chicago, but 3-2 loss, 2-1 loss. We're just not scoring enough. So yeah, that does it. I am definitely making a trade for a goal scorer. Unfortunately, down here in the AHL, there's not much to be done when it comes to trades, because a lot of the good players are contracted to an NHL team, and you can't exactly trade for a player that isn't contracted to the AHL specifically. So unfortunately, coming across a goal scorer like that might be difficult. Yeah, I think we're diving into free agency here, because all the top players in this league are contracted to the NHL anyway, so it's not like we could really do anything about that. So we're just going to have to hope that one of these free agent signings comes through clutch, because there's otherwise not much else to be done. Okay, so I've signed Tal McGowan. I wasn't able to see his ratings in the free agency screen because we didn't have him scouted, but now that we do have him signed, looks like a depth player at best, honestly. I guess there's just not really much to be done, unfortunately. I mean, we could send this guy down to the Wheeling Nailers because it doesn't look like he's doing much from an offensive standpoint. Yeah, only 4 points in 18 games. I think we could afford to send him down in favor of McGowan. But still, I don't know how much McGowan's going to improve our offensive situation. Probably not much, considering his overall attributes. And it's not like I could even go out and sign another assistant coach either, because we don't have much staff money left. In fact, we have almost none. Yeah, there's just unfortunately not much to be done right now, guys. Like, there's not much I can do that would make sense anyway. So unfortunately, to make matters worse, it looks like Zach Benson has indeed been called up to Pittsburgh. And I mean, that's as expected, but still, it definitely hurts us even more right now. We're 28, 26, and 6 roughly a week before the trade deadline. And like, I know this team isn't good enough. I want to make a change. I'm just not sure where I would find that impact player that we really need, you know? Because all the players that we can trade for just aren't that good. And then the realistic signing targets in free agency right now just aren't good either. So, you know, it's no one who's really going to make a difference. Like, if I signed one of those 2.5-star players, it's not like we would all of a sudden become a goal-scoring threat of a team. Okay, I think I have found a trade that will actually work out and is actually, or could actually be impactful. So I've decided to send Garrett White and Dayton Paolo to the Grand Rapids Griffins for Greg Hargrove. He's a 3.5-star ability, so that's already an improvement. So far this season, he hasn't been great with the goal scoring, but he's at least, you know, he's putting up the points. 33 points in 55 games played, a 67 grade. He did have 28 goals last year, so I'm hoping that he'll be able to sort of pick it up and get back to where he was before. And when compared to Garrett White, Garrett White's good defensively, but not so much offensively. So he does have a good defensive grade, but his offensive is just... And then Dayton Paolo, not even really playing for us. He's playing for the Wheeling Nailers of the ECHL. Even there, I mean, he's doing all right, but we already have 2 goaltenders who are up here and doing all right for us at the very least. And he is a piece of value in this trade, so I think White and Paolo for Hargrove is pretty fair. I mean, 2 young pieces in White and Paolo, who are both 2.5-star ability, for a 28-year-old who is a 3.5-star ability. They seem to think so as well. They will probably accept this offer, so let's offer that trade out to them. Okay, so they say this is an interesting offer, but we have to increase the offer a little. Okay, then, I'll include Brent Bast. He's down in the ECHL anyways, 27, wasn't really too promising. Okay, let's see what they think about that. Really? All right, here's my last offer for Greg Hargrove. We got Garrett White, but the big piece of the puzzle here, at least on our side, is Brooks Yablonski, who is the 3-star ability, 4-star potential. Now, he's currently playing for the Wheeling Nailers, so it's not like we're using him in goal here, and he's 23 already, so I'm not sure how much more growth he's going to get, even playing in the ECHL. Got a good save percentage so far this year, 924. 27 wins in 44 games played, but we need a lot of help with scoring, so hopefully Greg Hargrove can help that out, and hopefully Grand Rapids will agree to this trade offer. Finalize the deal, and there you go. That will work. So there you go. Garrett White and Brooks Yablonski have gone to Grand Rapids in exchange for Greg Hargrove, who is now on our roster, and hopefully that'll make our offense a little bit more respectable. Because as we see by goals for per game, I mean, we're not bad, but we could definitely be better. We're sitting at number 16 in the league right now with a 2.9 goals for per game. And unfortunately, we are still absolutely terrible at the penalty kill. We are last in the league with a 76.9. So we do need to tighten up defensively for sure. But I think getting that additional 3.5-star forward was a little bit more important for the time being, because we do have some pretty good defensemen on here. Lou, Hartley, Silas, Pauls, all those guys 3.5-star ability. And it's not like we don't have a lot of depth at forward. It's just I wanted to get someone else for the top 6 in there. And as we see, Hargrove is already on the first line, so hopefully that means he'll be getting quite a few points, because we're going to need him to. And even though we're currently sitting outside the playoffs, I don't think I want to make any other changes, because I just feel like if this team is given enough time to gel, things will start to work out. At least that's my hope. And if it doesn't work out, then so be it. You know, we can always make more changes in the offseason. I'm not going to get caught up on necessarily trying to win this thing in year 1 with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, although it would be nice to, but I'm not going to go too crazy with any changes that I don't really think are necessary. And I'm not saying that there aren't changes that could be made. I'm just saying there's no players that are really, I would consider an upgrade over what we currently have. So I think we're just going to go the rest of the season here. Okay, so this is interesting. New player on the roster. We have Brandon Chiquito. His first game with the team, 87 grade there, 94 defensive grade, which is, I know it's only one game that he's played with us so far, but still good to see another 4-star player on the roster. So hopefully he can keep that up. And it does appear that he is an NHL level player, as he was previously with the Calgary Flames. It doesn't even look like he's played with the Pittsburgh Penguins yet. Yeah, it looks like he's gone back and forth between the AHL and the NHL so far in his career. So, if he stays down here at the AHL, that's completely fine with me, obviously. I'll take all the help I can get from Pittsburgh. All right, March 1st update. We are just in a playoff spot right now. Just barely. Been on a bit of a winning streak recently. We've won our past 4. So if we could keep that up, then we may have a decent chance of making the playoffs. But, we have to make sure that we don't fall off at any point here. All right, it looks like at least the power play is better. We're currently sitting at 17.5, 12th in the league. And I'm not expecting the penalty. Yeah, the penalty kill's still brutal, unfortunately. Okay, so 1 game left in the season. We're 37, 32, and 6. We are just outside the playoffs. It's between us and Charlotte, the Charlotte Checkers, for the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference. We need Charlotte to lose their last game, and we need to win our last game. There's no other way around it. And something I find pretty interesting, I know this is irrelevant to the playoff race, but what I find interesting is the home and away records for these two teams. The Charlotte Checkers, 25, 12, and 1 at home, and then 14, 22, and 1 away. We are 13, 21, and 3 at home, 24, 11, and 3 away. So unfortunately, our last game is at home, so that might put us at a bit of a disadvantage here, unfortunately, if the past is anything to go off of. Now, it should be noted that even if we win this game, if Charlotte wins their game, then we're not in the playoffs. It's just as simple as that. If we don't win this game, then there's no chance at all. So this is basically a playoff game, so we're going to go into it and see what happens here in this game against the Milwaukee Admirals. All right, here we go. Start of the first period, now underway. All right, scoreless first period. Do we have anything? We have a goal by Roman Prudek for Milwaukee. Come on, guys. Patrick Cornelison with the goal for Milwaukee. Puts them up 2-0. Okay. We get a goal from Cameron Tolnai. Still not ideal, but we're in a slightly better position than we were just a few seconds ago. Come on, get something done in the third. Olivier Lizotte with the 3-1 goal. That may possibly be it for our season. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, but nonetheless, he puts Milwaukee up 4-1, and that is our season. And not to mention, I'm pretty sure that Charlotte won their last game as well, so it's not like it really would have mattered even if we had won that game. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess what we need to focus on going into the offseason would definitely be improving the penalty kill for one, because that was a pretty atrocious penalty kill, if I do say so myself. I'm pretty sure it was hovering around 76% the entire season, which was 32nd in the league. Offense wasn't bad, at least as of last checked. I'm pretty sure we were 12th in the league, so we actually dropped down as of when we last checked. We were 12th before, and now we're 17th in the league with a 2.89, and goals against per game, we are also 17th in the league with a 2.93. Power play 14th with a 16.7, so it did get a little bit worse since we last checked. And the penalty kill, 77.4, 32nd in the league. So we do clearly have some work to do going into the offseason. Obviously, being an AHL team, we don't have control over everything, but I do know for certain that we cannot keep the same roster or possibly same staff going into next season. Honestly, I think a big part of it is the fact that we lack the funds for more than one assistant coach. So if we could get that during the offseason, that would be ideal. And I think overall, we just need some better simulators, because, no one on this team is particularly bad, but besides Chiquito, who was sent down near the trade deadline, there's no one else who really stands out besides maybe Moorhead, who very well could be called up to Pittsburgh next year. So, I don't know. The AHL is an interesting place because, you could have players going up to the NHL, you could have players being sent down who you're not expecting. There's a lot of unknowns There's a lot of unknowns. I guess that's what makes the AHL an interesting place to manage. But like I said, certainly have our work cut out for us this offseason. So I think I'll leave this off here. And the next one, we'll get to the year one offseason with your Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins.